Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of New Earth Rhythm. I'm sitting here. My husband just took our toddler out to like the splash pad water park, and I'm quickly like, all right, what am I going to do with my time? I got a few hours. Like, what is the best use of my time? And then I was like, it's time for an update. It's time for an update. I just made my TikTok videos and now I put it in long form to you guys, let y'all know what's going on because shit's going down. Shit's going down. I keep calling this the biggest threshold moment of my life because it quite literally is. Um, I have reframed my life and my situation through the lens of the esoteric Enneagram, understanding that point 0/9, right? I see it also clearly now. Okay, the moment of my Kundalini awakening in January 2018, it set me off on that first point of my hero's journey. And the night of my Kundalini awakening, I literally was like furiously writing in my notes app on my phone, like while sweating and just like having the craziest experience of my life for like 8 hours. I didn't sleep all night. It was like this rush of energy in my entire body. It was like a swirling tornado. And I was getting these realizations out on my phone. And I was like saying, I'm like, I'm a writer. I'm a writer. Why am I pretending like I don't know what I'm doing? Why am I pretending like I don't know what my life path is, what my passions are, what I'm really meant to be doing? Like, I'm a writer. And I was writing that night. I'm like, I want to make money. I want to be successful just by sharing my perspective and my emotional wisdom and my life experiences with the world. That is my art, and that is how I will be rich. That is how I will be prosperous. That is how I will help people. That is how I will be of service. So that night of my point 0, I set the intention with God. God set the intention in me that I will be successful by sharing my perspective and my emotional wisdom with the world. Okay, so now I'm on the hero's journey, right? I'm in the points. I am learning new information. I start to build my rock solid foundation. I start to become healthy. I'm living in alignment. I learn about the chakra system. I'm dancing every day. I'm healing all of this conditioning. The Kundalini continues to rise to clear conditioning. I'm learning about astrology so that I can consciously work with the archetypes to activate these parts of myself that I need to release and that I need to, transmute the shadow into the gift and start to integrate and start to own these parts of myself and start to heal, right? And then, I'm meeting the right people. I'm becoming a lot healthier. I'm understanding my mission, my purpose. And then there's like inevitable bumps in the road. I still had addictions. I was still drinking a lot of alcohol during that time. Um, you get the point. I don't know how deep I want to go into this. I'm just like letting you know that moment of my Kundalini awakening set me on this trajectory with the intention that I will make money sharing my perspectives and my emotional wisdom with the world. So I'm learning how to build my rock solid foundation in energy work, in Ayurveda. Then I found human design. Then I found the I Ching. Then I found the gene keys. Right. I'm really like proficient in astrology now. I'm building my rock solid foundation. I thought that I wanted to be an energy healer, and then I quickly was like, nah, hell no, but I needed to learn that knowledge so that it could be integrated into my foundation, right? Then I had this moment of like, I was also like just so delusional though, because I'm getting really caught up in like manifestation, thinking that, okay, God, I'm on mission now. I'm heart-centered. I got you, like, use me as a vessel, God. And then I was thinking that I was just going to magically be gifted like millions of dollars so that I could continue to fulfill my purpose, that I was magically just going to be, given a community and given this leadership role because I had such a big soul mission as a Life Path 33, 5/1 emotional manifester. I thought that I was just going to like stumble upon my fortune because that would then fuel my life of purpose. Like it was so ass backwards. Okay, so inevitably I'm running into a lot of challenge and a lot of pain. And every eclipse season was a freaking reckoning where I had to face these ugliest parts of myself, these outdated beliefs, these old identities, everything that was no longer serving me, all the ways that I had like avoidant tendencies that I thought, oh, it's just because I'm a Pisces, we're naturally avoidant. I like latched onto that identity, then that made me believe that I'm not responsible enough to run a business, that I'm not responsible enough to handle large sums of money, that I'm not responsible enough to handle like a big space, a big container of a community, that I was keeping my abundance like at arm's length. You guys get it. This is going all over the place. I'm just showing you the wild ride of learning how to be an entrepreneur, okay? So, by understanding the esoteric Enneagram, you'll see that there are these set points in your journey where you are destined, like it is encoded within the Enneagram, that you will face these moments of hardship and challenge because these are shocks that are trying to help you get back on track. So, all the ways that I was like, doing the right thing, but then still doing the wrong thing because I still had a lot to learn. Boom, there's a moment of shock to help you see clearly. It's like the tower moment in tarot to help you see clearly. And that the first one, the first shock for me was, well, first the initial shock is the Kundalini Awakening. Then the next shock was my miscarriage in 2022, where I realized that I was going about my life ass backwards and that I had to army crawl in the mud, build my life brick by brick, stone by stone. Excuse me, stone by stone. That's when I got on social media. That's when I posted videos every single day. Every video I posted was like laying a brick, building my body of work, growing a community slowly but surely. And then moments of quick, fast growth, like, woohoo, this is awesome, I'm killing it. And then moments of like lull and resistance and frustration. And then learning to pivot, learning how to, gain a clear strategy. I had to learn how to not just be like, wishful, hopeful thinking, believing that just because I was in alignment and on mission, that I was just going to magnetize everyone to me, that people would be dying to work with me, that people would be banging on my door, like begging for my spiritual wisdom and my knowledge. Like, yo, I'm telling you, ass backwards, right? So there's these moments of shock that get you back on track. And then it is up to you to lay it brick by brick, stone by stone, to be of service. I had to learn how to serve before I could lead. Okay, and then I'm doing all this, and every eclipse season, I'm unraveling and releasing old identities, and I'm transmuting these dense, heavy energies of my literal, like ancestral and lineage fears, anxieties, collective fears, anxieties. I'm releasing, I'm growing, I'm integrating. And I'm learning how to build my online community and I'm learning how to do it the right way. Okay. And what that meant was I had to learn how to develop a system, a proven system. And this is what you need to do if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a spiritual entrepreneur, a practitioner, or you're growing like a heart-centered business. Whatever your thing is, whatever like you have the most impact one-on-one, whatever facilitates the most transformation for someone one-on-one, you need to make that into a proven system, into a method that will apply to anyone, any age, anywhere, any country, any race. Like, you have to make it a proven system. If you chase one-on-one work, you will not grow. I had to learn this the hard way, okay? So everything that I was doing, learning how to live in alignment with who I was born to be and with my soul mission as a 5-1 emotional manifestor life path 33, as I was like learning and weaving my foundations and coming into alignment, then I am learning that that is actually a proven system that I had been learning so that I could share it with you and you and you and you. Okay, so it's all about developing this proven system so that I could scale my business. Because this whole time, remember, like I said, at point zero, I wanted to make money by sharing my perspective and sharing my emotional wisdom. I wrote a book, not expecting it to like pop off or anything, but I was like realizing like, oh, you can't just like write a book because you know that you're meant to be a writer and then magically like millions of people are going to find it. And I thought I was going to get a call from like a publisher or somebody being like, this is amazing. Like, we want to work with you. Like, again, delusional. Okay. I had to learn that everything requires a strategy and a method, clear strategy, sacred strategy, devotion, will, discipline, and learning how to work in alignment with my energy, but not to the point of detriment. Because if you are just learning how to work in alignment with your energy and doing what you feel like doing, you're in your feminine energy too much and you will be led astray. Okay. You need to find that balance of masculine and feminine. Feminine is like when you're devoted to your flow and you're in alignment with your flow and the subtle cues of shifts in your energy and in the collective field and knowing when it's time to do something else and knowing when it's time to shift. The masculine energy is having these set boundaries for yourself, built in self-respect and self-love and long-term vision. That no, even if I don't feel like doing something today, I'm going to sit down for an hour and I'm going to force myself to do it, even though it is excruciatingly painful. The moment you get done, you like, it's like it unlocks like a high. Okay, so then the more you do it, it becomes easier and easier to do. And maybe this is obvious to you, but this was not obvious to me. Okay. I was like just flowing through this entire like quote entrepreneurial journey. I truly believe that I just had to be myself, be authentic, share my voice, share my creations, and that all of this would be like magnetized to me. And that is a piece of it. Okay. You do need to be in alignment, to be in the right places at the right time, to be healthy so that you're no longer programmed or controlled. Okay, and to release the pathogens and the viruses and the parasites within your body, which are literally like little demons, like whispering negative stuff in your ear, making you super foggy and irritable and anxious and depressed. Okay, you do need to come into alignment physically, and you need to gain your physical vitality. You need to gain emotional clarity. Look to your gene keys for that so that you can rid yourself of these heavy, dense shadows that everyone experiences, like fear, shame, guilt, anger, pride. Like you need to rid yourself and transmute those and release those heavy feelings once and for all, right? So you need to gain emotional clarity. You need to gain mental freedom, understand how programmed you are by our sick society, by the world around you, okay? Realize how conditioned you are by your very own core beliefs. Realize how limited you are by your rational mind, which is an instrument in the Maya. So you can't escape the Maya if you're just like thinking within the Maya. You need to jump into the body's wisdom. Look to human design for that. It literally spells out the best way for you to make decisions in alignment with your unique energy, which which center in your body is your inner compass. Okay, because for it's no one's mind. It's never going to be your mind. For me, it's the emotional solar plexus. For you, maybe it's the sacral. For you, maybe it's the splenic center. Okay. So you need to gain mental freedom. And then you need to gain spiritual alignment by having a full, deep understanding and acceptance of your destiny, of your life theme, of this role that you are here to play in this lifetime, how you uniquely move through life, dance through life, the impact that you are meant to have, and the codes that you are here to activate so that you can just full wholeheartedly accept who you are. Stop trying to fit in to an unnatural world and begin making the world feel natural to you. Okay, so we're coming into alignment, right? But we're also not just like flowing through life, but we have a clear strategy. We have a clear strategy because now maybe you have discovered the esoteric Enneagram and you understand that everything is like this law of nature. It is this co-creation of God that is a method. It is not random. Everything is a method and everything is a system because everything is sacred geometry. There's the law of three, there's the law of seven. So by consciously working with this method and with this sacred strategy, it will help you release what needs to be released at those points and not like hold you back. It will help you flow when you need to flow, and it'll help you push when you need to push. So, for example, this is all over the place. I hope you guys are down with this, but whatever. We're just going to continue. Okay, so because I'm fired up right now, obviously, and because my matcha latte has hit me and I am jacked up. Okay, so when you like get to this point of 8 in the esoteric Enneagram, which is where I'm at now, like you guys, I just took you through my whole entrepreneurial journey. I've developed the system, right? I've developed a proven system. I'm stepping away from one-on-one work. Like, unless you're serious, unless you're a serious initiate and you do want to be my mentee, then you can reach out to me. But I'm not just like pushing one-on-one work anymore. Okay. I'm sharing my proven method and my system. So the moment that I finally like clicked this all together and like understood this and started putting it out there, um, and I was like, boom, I got it. Like I freaking got it. I have developed this system. I'm ready. Like I'm ready. I have released my money blocks. I have released my my inner child like identities that were holding me back from thinking that I was someone who wasn't capable of being responsible. I was someone who wasn't capable of holding a large sum of money. I was someone who wasn't capable of holding a huge community. Okay, I had to release all those identities. I had to release all of those blocks. And I got to this point where I was like feeling good. I'm like, boom, I'm about to be catapulted into my higher octave, into my new spiral of the hero's journey, into my new level of leadership. I have served. Now I'm ready to lead. Bring it on. I'm here. I'm ready. Like, boom, let's get it. Let's go. And then I start to face so much resistance and so much challenge. Okay, like in my marriage, like all of a sudden these like situations were popping up that were so triggering for me. Then with my family, my precious family, like something is happening now that was so triggering for me, okay? And then I don't want to share, I'm not going to share the details of things like that, but just know that like the moment where you are about to cross the threshold, it's going to be like blaring in your face all of a sudden, so much resistance. Like, okay, then I was meeting so much resistance on TikTok. Like, videos that I knew should be going viral were not going viral. And I was like feeling like I was hitting a wall and it was super frustrating. Okay, so it's like things like that. Like, all of a sudden, when you know and feel that you're about to pop off and integrate all of the lessons from this last cycle and boom, be like catapulted into your higher octave of life, of being, you will meet the most resistance, the most pain, the most triggers, because the universe is mirroring to you the very patterns that you are now transcending once and for all. You transmute the densest, heaviest energies, and you gain the awareness and the higher perspective to finally see it for what it is so that you can gain the language to make it a system so that you can share it with others. Like exactly what I'm doing with you guys right now. Gaining this language. Everything had to unfold this way so that I could gain the language to explain the system and the method to you. Because if I hadn't had that last round of triggers, like this last few weeks, I wouldn't have gained this language, this understanding of what it really means to move up an octave. Okay, so I'm seeing now that the universe will mirror to you exactly what you are transcending. You do not give into it, okay? This is the moment where people might quit. This is the moment where people might throw in the towel and say, "Holy shit, maybe I'm not as like evolved as I thought I was. Like, why am I still being triggered by those same things that I thought I was over by now, that I thought I had worked through, that I thought I was moving past? Why am I running into this same wall again? Why am I running into resistance when I thought I had already moved past that block and past that pain?" That could be a moment where someone like throws in the towel or thinks like, okay, guess this just isn't for me. Guess I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should go try a new industry. Maybe I should go get a regular ass job. Maybe I should give up. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. This could be a moment where someone could seriously throw in the towel. And if that's you right now, like, do not, do not. This is your moment to freaking double down because you finally see exactly what you are transcending and exactly what your unique medicine is to help others. I see it so clearly now. I'm like, dang, maybe I had to fail so hard financially so many times so that I could learn the method, learn the system to help you, like to help others. It's like your deepest pain, your deepest triggers it's exactly what your unique sacred medicine is that is a part of like your grander plan, your grander purpose. And all of this started the night of my Kundalini Awakening, where I was learning how to take my unique perspective and my emotional wisdom and to be successful at that and to go all in, balls to the walls, 100%, no turning back, pour my full conscious awareness into this. And the moment you decide to pour your full conscious awareness into a life of alignment, a life of purpose, a life of mission, then you have just agreed to face the ugliest parts of not only yourself, but of your entire ancestry and your fractal line. Because all of that is embedded within you, and all of that is dense energy that cannot come with you where you're going. So it is set in your hero's journey the moment you agree, all right, God, let's do this. I'm on board. Let's hit it. Let's get it. Let's ride these waves together. Like, let's freaking go. This is the greatest adventure of my entire life. Let's go. You now agree to face the ugliest parts of yourself, okay? And you need those ugliest parts of yourself. You need that black magic, like shadow, the gunk, okay, to help you be catapulted forward. So I'm like so excited to share this language. I'm so excited to share the method that is the sacred system of the Enneagram and my proven method of align, because you need all of it. You need both of them to work together seamlessly. And that is the point where I'm at now, is I have mastered my own system, and I have mastered sharing the system, proving that it works with anyone and everyone who is devoted and committed to pouring their full conscious awareness into creating the life of their freaking dreams that is instilled within them through God. Like I said, like that night of my Kundalini awakening, I didn't like, it wasn't little me. It wasn't little Lisa who was like, so, okay, what do I really want to do with my life? Let me think about it. Oh, yeah, I love writing. I've always been a writer. But why do I love writing? Because I love to share my perspective and my emotional wisdom with the world. Oh, and is that how I want to make money in this lifetime? Like, it wasn't like that. It was dropped into my awareness like a freaking thunderbolt, thunder lightning bolt. And that was the moment where I agreed with God to make it happen. And then I had to go on this like wild ass journey to get to this point now. And all those years ago in 2018, I would have never like imagined that this is where I would be right now. And it is so beautiful. And it is so beautiful. It gives me the chills. Like I want to cry because I never gave up. I never let bumps in the road impede my momentum. When I had that miscarriage, it shattered me. It shattered me. I'm telling you, like, I've never been that hurt in my entire life, because it was like I put so much emphasis on that pregnancy. I believe that it was like a gift from God, that I was like doing exactly what I was meant to be doing, that I was super healthy, that I was aligned, and that I was ready to be a mother. Therefore, it meant that I had grown, that I was spiritually evolved. Like that's what I believe. That's what I saw. I also believe that it meant that I was in the right place by moving to Vancouver, that I was with the right person to be with my husband, Nathan. Like we moved quick in our relationship, okay? Like quick. We're both very, we just say we're rock and roll, baby. Like we're both two crazy mofos, but that's why, he's like the best adventure partner for me in this lifetime. And he's a reflector. So he is my sacred mirror. So all the way, and I know that everything had to happen this way, because all of those moments where I could have shied away from looking at the ugly truth, I cannot do that with Nathan. He mirrors it to me. And even when it makes me so mad and uncomfortable, because I'm a manifester, I don't like being called out. I don't like being told what to do. Not that he tells me what to do, but he's just like calling out the things that I am doing unconsciously that are keeping me stuck in loops, right? That or the moments where I'm unconsciously complaining or blaming and disempowering myself. He's immediately reflecting that to me, and that's uncomfortable. And those are the moments where I would like naturally want to run and just be like, leave me alone. Like, I'm doing it right. I'm doing it the right way. Like, ego fighting back, ego fighting back. Nathan was always there to mirror it to me, to keep me back on track quickly, to get me back on track quickly. Okay. Because then I started to be the observer of it and say, like, why is this triggering me? Okay, let me get to the bottom of it. Oh, it's tied to this core wound from childhood. It's tied to this core identity that I have unconsciously been holding on to. He's been my sacred mirror to help me level up this whole time much faster. Okay. So you don't need to marry a reflector to have this in your life, but if you're me and you're on this path, then apparently you do. But anyway, that miscarriage, like it crushed me so bad, because it sent me into this freaking spiral where I thought that I was doing everything wrong, that I was actually doing everything ass backwards, that I was in the wrong place, making all the worst decisions, that I was completely delusional and out of alignment. It crushed me. And I had this moment where I just like, it flung my rose colored glasses off. I had to take a good hard look at my life, finally, with clear eyes. And in that miscarriage, I could see the ways that I was going top down on my biggest vision rather than bottom up, which was army crawling through the mud, doing everything like, one by one. It made me realize that I had been doing everything ass backwards, and that I had no one to blame but myself, and that it was a very hard pill that I had to swallow. But then I brushed myself off, picked myself up. It was during that time that one of my teachers, Sabrina, over at Sacred Lotus Yoni Steam, her incredible brand helping women with womb work and like priestess work and womb healing. It was during that miscarriage that she was having a free 2 week live event that I could tune into every day to help me get through the miscarriage. Then her and I connected afterwards and she's like, you need to join my program. It's really going to help you during this time. She was that sacred teacher that came just at the perfect moment, which is another point on the Enneagram, that you're going to meet a sacred teacher. You're going to meet the sacred community and people in the moment that you need it the most, which is exactly what happened to me, which then brought me on a new trajectory. It was doing that sacred work, being held by this beautiful group of women, helping me get through the hardest moment of my life, that I realized and took a good hard look at my life. I swallowed the pill and then I realized that it was the greatest initiation of my life, and that now I can help other women get through the miscarriage because I learned how to get through the miscarriage with meditation, with rituals, with herbs, with yoni steaming. Um, with all of these other things, right? So then I started to be of service. It was during that time that I got on TikTok and I started making videos every single day. It was during that time that I started writing all of my guidebooks, my womb wisdom guidebook, my chakras of the earth guidebook, which then became my book, Vitalize the Chakras of the Earth, End of View, where I weave all of it, everything I've been learning since my Kundalini Awakening. Every day I went to the cafe and I worked for hours on my book. I'm laying the foundations. I'm building my body of work. I'm doing things the right way. So it was that moment of shock of the miscarriage that allowed me to see clearly, that I met my teachers and my community to help me get back on track. And then it sent me on this new trajectory of my life where I started building and doing things the right way. So you guys get the point. Life is freaking beautiful. This is the coolest journey of life. I have so much more to say, but you guys already know where we're at if you've been listening to my other episodes about how I had that massive breakthrough when I realized that human design is music. Well, I got news for you, y'all. Everything is music. Everything is music. God is music. God is one sacred note called do. And then God is one, and then it descends down an octave, towards density. It splits into three. Then it doubles again, it goes into 6. Okay, then we go into 12. Then we go into 24. Then we go into 48. Then we go into 96, which is the moon, which is the densest energy. The densest energy in our cosmos that affects us humans. Okay. So the densest energy is where the music, the pure music, the rhythmic symphony of God's true creation of Do, as it descends down into denser energies, it's starting to get distorted. It's starting to get distorted due to human influence. Okay, so then it gets so distorted by the time you're in 96, by the time you're in that moon, dense, heavy conditioning matrix. That's the matrix. It is so distorted because you can no longer tune in to God's true rhythmic symphony. So as you do the work to decondition, to wake up, to come into alignment, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, you're shaking yourself out of that dense energy. You're shaking yourself out, and now those 96 laws no longer affect you, but now you're in the next, you've removed yourself one dense layer and you've moved up now to the earth layer, which is 48 laws, which is still a lot, but it is not as heavy as 96. So now you're starting to tune back into the rhythmic symphony of God's true creation. You're coming into alignment. You're tuning in. You can start to hear the music again. You can start to hear the music. You're coming into alignment. You start to hear the voice of your higher self because now you've freed yourself. You can hear more clarity. You can hear more guidance from your higher self, from your guides, from your angels, right? You're starting to become healthier so that you're now in the right places at the right time. Now you're ultra protected during this time too, right? And then you're still being heavily influenced probably, by the planets, by the planetary movements. Maybe you're still disempowered. Maybe you're still allowing yourself to be controlled by the moon and by the planets rather than harnessing them. You're being controlled by them. Okay, so that's more influences, that's more laws that are shaping you and keeping you disempowered. So then you're learning how to reclaim your energetic sovereignty. Then you're moving up another octave. Okay, and now you have less dense laws that are ruling you, but you're reclaiming your energetic sovereignty. You're coming into alignment. You're tuned in with the rhythmic symphony of God's true creation. You've removed the delusion. You've removed the idea of manifestation that all I have to do is wish, hope, and pray. And then boom, God's going to just hand me a community and hand me millions of dollars and like hand me the right opportunities. And people are magically going to come up to me and be like, are you Lisa? We want to offer you this really incredible role doing this really incredible thing. Like you remove the delusion and you become an empowered co-creator and you take full responsibility for everything. No one's going to hand you anything. You take full responsibility. You see that everything is your quote fault. Everything is because of you, but you're not hard on yourself. You're not like, oh man, I suck. This sucks. You're like, boom, okay, I am a product of conditioning. I'm a human. That is what it means to be human. And that is beautiful because that's my launching off pad into higher awareness. That's the perfect energy, perfect conditions to help me transmute, to unlock my gifts, which are hidden within my ugliest shadows. I'm going to start owning myself as an authority. I'm going to start owning myself as an instrument of God because I've been learning how to tune in. And I'm going to now enter the sacred strategy of co-creation with God. Okay, so then you enter your next octave of your hero's journey with your full conscious awareness. You start out now at that 0 point with your set, clear intention of your next goal, of your next octave of your life. Okay, so now you're deciding to co-create that next goal of your life with your full conscious awareness and in alignment with God's plan. So I have mine. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing for my next octave. I'm not going to share it, okay, because that's sacred and I'd rather just do it and then show it to you guys. I'm not going to talk it out because then that's like I'm like it's like a balloon that I'd be like deflating by like telling you guys what my next octave is all about. You'll just see. You'll just see you're part of it. Y'all are here for the ride. Let's get it. Let's go. Okay. I'm like, I don't know. This video, I don't know. I hope y'all are still with me, man. Let's get it. I'm just like so jacked up too because Mercury went direct yesterday. And now like I see so clearly what my Mercury retrograde was all about. I feel so like clear and it feels like the road's opening up and I'm like, boom, let's hit it. Let's go. So I couldn't wait to share this with you guys because here's what I just have opened up. And here is your official formal invitation. I'm moving all my platforms and moving everything over to one location. I really like the website Circle. Okay, it's where I can have everything and everyone all in one place, like my Discord community, my TikTok, my Instagram, my podcast community, my newsletter community. All of you guys come with me over to Circle. This is where I have my proven system of Align, everything that took me the last 8 years to really form into a proven method and system. That's my course, Align, and that's available to you. And then there's all these resources in there. There's like a community board. I'm going to have all my weekly newsletters, all my updates, all these things, like all my podcasts are going to be posted in there. Everything is going to be in one place, and it's called the Initiates, and it's for our New Earth Rhythm community, where really what my whole octave was all about was owning myself as the initiator. I am the initiator, and everyone who comes across me and my work and resonates with it, you are the initiate, and I am helping initiate you into this new way of being through everything that I had been called to learn and everything that I have woven together. Okay. And then you can become the initiator if that's in your design, if that's in your path, or you just integrate all this wisdom for whatever your hero's journey path is. Okay. For whatever your alignment journey is, for whatever your greater purpose, whatever your greater mission is. But I'm here to support you in that. Okay. So I always knew, like, as a manifester, we say that manifestors are the initiator. I've used these words from the jump. I'm like, initiator, thinking that it just meant like I have to go first. No one's gonna grab my hand and pull me in a certain direction. No one's gonna tell me what to do. No one's gonna lead me or guide me. I have to lead myself. I have to be the first one to do it. I have to carve out a path for myself. I have to open the door. I got to get the ball rolling. I have to get it started. That's what I was like thinking about being an initiator, being like taking the first step. But now I'm realizing, I'm like, no, being an initiator means that I had to master being an initiate with life as my teacher. Okay. And then I initiate others into these higher frequencies. I initiate others into the frequencies of transformation and of creation. I had to own myself as the initiator, as the spiritual teacher. I had to earn my title, and I have. And now, boom, we're launching the initiates. This is for my New Earth Rhythm community. First 100 people who join the community, it's just $50 for that Align program. Okay, I had been marketing it at $222, but that also came with your human design and gene keys reading. That's a 25-page PDF personalized guide for you and a one-on-one with me. So you guys don't have access to that anymore because I don't want that to be, I don't want the number 222 to be a gatekeeper for you to join this community. You can join the community for free, but to get access to that Align program, which is the foundation for the initiates, it's $50 to have access to everything, y'all. All of my resources that I have been culminating along my own path as an initiate, all of that is in there. Like so much, so many videos and powerful workshops and my written work and graphs and diagrams, like everything to support you. Is you have full lifetime access to that for only $50. Okay, and then there's the option if you want your personalized PDF, hit me up, then we can add that on. And then if you want a one-on-one with me, you can always add that on as well. And then in my larger community, we're going to have, like everything for women, for how to live in alignment with your cycle, all my womb wisdom info, all of my health info about cleansing, about detoxing, all of this wisdom about the Enneagram, all of my weekly updates. I love dropping my weekly energy updates, my intuitive updates. I just had this video go freaking crazy viral on Instagram and TikTok because I said that July was the craziest month, that so many women missed their periods or had an off period because of this massive recalibration that we were all getting in the divine feminine. We all had this massive recalibration, and the energy was so different the moment that Uranus moved from Taurus into Gemini on July 7th. And then the Schumann resonance was popping off unprecedented spikes in the Schumann resonance. It massively affected our nervous system and our wombs. I completely missed my period in July, did not ovulate, spotted for 3 weeks. And then I went from bleeding with the new moon to bleeding with the full moon, which is so appropriate for where I'm at in my life right now. My energy went from being very like nurturing and soft and mothering the last, 6 to 12 months before that, to now this moment, my threshold moment, my energy is intense AF, and now I'm back to bleeding with the full moon. So feel into that. Join our community, send me a message, say Align, go look in my link tree, sign up. And I can't wait to see you guys all over there. This is powerful. If you're a part of the founding members community, you're going to get like a badge and be here for life, because we're going to blow this thing up, y'all. We are going to blow this up. There's only one way to go, and that is up. We're spiraling upwards. I can't wait to push my own limitations and move beyond things that I even thought possible for myself. And I can't wait for you guys to all be a part of it as well. Sending you so much love. Here's my baby. She's back just in time. Gotta go. Bye.